some people who just need some help goal setting and shares his life experiences, and he is an incredible individual. So without further ado, Mr. Parker.
Good morning. So I know all of us in here are freshmen. I remember when I was a freshman, so that means I'm not that old compared to some of the other people in here. So quick question, I did speak at the middle school last year. By show of hands, does anybody remember me coming to the middle school or me being here last year? Awesome. So I figured it would be pretty boring if I came and told you guys all the same stuff, right? You guys know about myself. I follow some of you guys on social media. Some of you guys are really funny, so I enjoy some of the stuff you post. Some of you guys are crazy, so I be like mute. But I do enjoy interacting with you guys. I do enjoy coming to this school, so I'm very thankful to be here. It's not something that I take for granted. With that said, I know it's a little cold. I know it's a little early in the morning. So one thing I always try to do is just provide some energy, realizing that energy is like heat. So when I'm going to say good morning, I need you guys to give me just a little bit more energy than you gave Miss Smith. You guys do that for me? Like, I know she's your favorite principal, but today just give me a little bit more energy than you guys gave her, all right? We have 1, 2, we have 3 sides. Let's see what side is the best. Well, more people on this side. But I think we're going to have this side as the best. All right, so come on the count of 3. I need you guys just to give me some energy and say good morning back to me, all right? Good morning, red line. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that wasn't too good. Middle section, talk to me. Good morning, red line. 1, 2, 3. Good morning. All right, well, you guys beat them. All right, come on. It's all on you guys. All right, come on. Give me some energy. All right, let's try this. 1, 2, 3. Good morning, red line. All right, I like it. All right, guys, check this out. I'm only up here for a short period of time, so I want to talk to you guys about a couple different things that's going to change your life. Obviously, life happens very fast, right? In the course of 365 days, so many different things happen in our own personal lives, in the lives of our friends, and the lives of people around us. I'm the perfect example of that. Last year when I came, I brought my wife to come speak with me. A year later, and I have a newborn son that's 4 months old. That just shows you how fast life goes. Right, and at the end, I love taking pictures, so I wanted to make sure that my wife and my daughter came so you guys could see them. But the stuff that I wanted to talk to you guys about today is how you guys can get to the next level in your lives. Right, because a lot of times I've realized that when you're young, when you're 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, we don't think about like our future. Sometimes we have goals and whatnot, sometimes we don't know how to get there, but a lot of times what I've come to learn when I speak to kids like you guys is we have thoughts of what we want to do, but every day we don't actually know what we're supposed to be doing. Right, a lot of times we do what's fun, we do what we like to do, but the reality is every single day we have an opportunity in this thing called life, because the reality is everybody doesn't have what we have. Right, my wife comes from Jamaica. In Jamaica, everybody doesn't get educated. Right now we live in Pennsylvania. You guys realize in Florida they're dealing with hurricanes. So every single day we wake up is a blessing, and we have an opportunity at this thing called life. So the first thing I want you guys to do, one thing I hate doing is just talking to you guys because I put you guys to sleep. I don't want to do that. So do me a favor, turn to somebody that you're sitting next to and just say, today's my opportunity. So it is, and the reason I say that is because every single day we have an opportunity to get a little bit better. We have an opportunity to learn a little bit more. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about, and I was actually just talking to my friend about, he's a gamer, but last night I realized my phone, it updated. Right, by a show of hands, do we have any people who have Androids in here? All right, you guys need to get iPhones. All my iPhone people, I'm joking. But I have an iPhone, and one thing I realized with the iPhone is every now and then when they come out with a new iPhone, they send a message on my phone that says I need to update my software. And whatever happens is, I don't know how they do it, but whenever I don't update my phone starts tripping. It's like the battery dies faster, apps stop working, the same thing with my watch, the same thing with my headphone. Like Apple got me, but what they do is they make me update all my software every so often. What I've learned is as people, we have to update our software as well. So when we come to school and we have an education, when we learn new things, that's our way of updating our software. In other words, the things that you learned when you was younger, in high school might not work for you anymore. Because in high school, you have to be a little bit more mature. You have to update your software. The way we learned when we was in middle school, might have to learn a different way. You might have to update your software. Because the old way of thinking will get you old results. And I say that because I share with you guys my story, but when I was growing up and I wanted to get a scholarship and I finally got to college, my high school way of thinking ended up making me lose my scholarship. Right? And then I started selling drugs, didn't know what to do with my life, ended up in jail, and my illegal entrepreneur spirit didn't get me what I was looking for. I had to update my software. Right? It was after I got out of jail and I had a different mindset. How did I get a different mindset? I started reading new books. I started hanging out with new people. I started having new goals. I started getting serious about life. When I updated my software, all of a sudden my results started getting different. So I know there's some of us in here that are like really smart, we get good grades, we don't get in trouble, but there are some of us who do. But today's your opportunity, right? We just said today's our opportunity. Today's our opportunity to update our software. Because nobody's perfect, and after this, if you talk to my wife, I'm pretty sure that she'll tell you I'm far from perfect. But the reality is every day we have a chance to get a little bit better. I don't know about any of your teachers in here, but nobody really expects you to be perfect. But we do expect you to try. And how can you show us you're trying? By updating your software. So do me a favor, the person that you turn to, don't turn to them again. Turn to somebody else and just say, update your software. Yeah, like you're checking the settings on your phone. Just check the settings, update your software. So check this out, guys. Check this out. One thing that I've learned, believe it or not, even at you guys' young age, there's a bunch of stuff that you guys have control over. Right, I know as a kid, I felt like I didn't have control over too much because my mom had to drive me to places, my dad had to drive me to places, I had to be in by a certain time, I couldn't do certain stuff, but then I started realizing as I got older that there is some stuff that I can control. Right, my daughter's 8 years old and she has her YouTube channel, and one thing that she can control is how much she watches her YouTube channel. Because she posted this video and she has like 100 views and I think she's 50 of them. But she can control that. Right, she can control how many views she gets by how many times she watches it. So as a kid, I want you guys to think, what is it that you can control? Because believe it or not, when I didn't think I had anything I could control in my life, I took it for granted. And what happened was, it took me going to jail to realize there was a bunch of stuff that I took for granted that I no longer have control over. So if you don't know that you have control over stuff, what happens is you take it for granted. And the last thing I would want for you guys is to be in a position in your life where you don't have a choice, you don't have a voice, somebody else tells you everything to do. Right? Because in jail somebody told me when to eat, when to sleep. I had a bunkie, he was doing stuff, I was doing stuff. Like in jail I didn't have too much control over my own life. But think about the fact that we live here in the United States. Guess what? There are some stuff that we can control. So as a kid, I need three answers. As a student here at Redline, what is one thing that you can control? Your grades. How can you control your grades? By submitting your work on time. Everybody agree with that? I do. Can you control your grades? I 100% agree. One more. Give me two more. The people you hang around. Can you control your friends? Yes, no, so shake your head. Yes, I agree. So the people you hang around, you can control. Your grades, you can control. One more. Behavior. Can you control your behavior? Now, I won't lie to you guys. I know some of you guys can't, but you can do your best. But you can control your behavior. So some other things you can control. Can you control bringing your pencil and your homework to school every day? Guys, believe it or not, I'll be talking to kids on TikTok, they'll write me, I write them back, and it's like, yeah, I got this F, my goal is to bring my grade up. I'm like, how did you get an F? I didn't submit my homework. Why not? I did it, I just forgot to bring it. And I'm like, huh? Does that make sense to you? Like, so if you can control putting your homework into there, that's something that you should control, right? So turn to your neighbor, turn to somebody else. I know you guys get tired of talking to the same person, but just say, control what you can control. All right, guys, here's a secret. If your lips don't move, that means you didn't talk. Turn to somebody else and say, control what you can control. Because this is the reality that I learned. It took me going to jail to realize that I didn't have control. But you guys are young. You guys aren't going to go to jail. What happens is you go to the principal's office and then guess who's in control? What happens is you get detention and then guess who's in control? What happens is your parents give you responsibilities, and if you don't act on those responsibilities, guess who takes the control back? So as a young adult, as a young man, as a young lady, my question for you is, do you want your life to be in somebody else's hands, or do you want to use today to start taking control of your own life? Because we all agree, you guys can control your grades. You guys can control whether you go to the principal's office. But my thing is, if you don't learn how to control it now, what happens when you become an adult? It takes somebody else to do it for you. So the goal is to be able to have self-discipline. Come on, just say that to yourself, self-discipline. Because a lot of us don't have self-discipline. And self-discipline is the ability to hold our own selves accountable. So remember, guys, I said, my job is to help you guys create goals. My job is to help you guys be successful. Because it took me losing my scholarship. It took me going to jail to start realizing just how important some opportunities are in life. Just the reason why we need goals. So I need 4 volunteers. Well, I actually need 2 because my VIP's up here. I need 2 of you guys. But I need 2 other volunteers for this next activity that we're going to do. So 1 from this section, 1 over there from that section, and I got my 2 of my VIPs. All right, I need two. You guys got two? Come on. Who's the one from over here? Come on. Come on. All right, guys, do me a favor. Give our volunteers a round of applause. All right, so this is what we're going to do. Are any of you guys fast? All right, good. We're not going to have a race. I need two of you guys over here, two of you guys over there in that aisle. So guys, this is purely acting. Does somebody know what acting is? Let me a better word. This is cap. Can somebody tell me what cap is? It's where you're lying, right? You guys don't know what cap is? I'll be seeing you guys on social media talking about, oh my God, that's cap. You guys be sending me the emojis. Now nobody knows what cap is. So check this out. We are acting here. So these four of my friends are actors. So I need what's your name? Sarah. So Sarah likes to play sports but doesn't like school. So pick a sport. What sport would you like to play? Lacrosse. So Sarah plays lacrosse. What's your name? Zadie? Zadie likes school, but she doesn't really like too much else. What's your favorite subject in school? Science? So Zadie and Sadie, don't forget what you are. Alright, so check this out. What's your name? Logan. So our friend Logan here likes to smoke cigarettes. Guys, we're acting. What's your name? Say it again. Camille. And Camille he doesn't really care about anything. Right? I know I talk to some of the kids sometimes, and what happens is it's like, I just come to school. I don't really care if I get good grades. Life is just blah. So what's going to happen is we're going to start progressing through life. And I need you guys are going to be a visual representation of what happens when the things that I say you guys are transpire. Right, so as a freshman, a kid that smokes cigarettes or does drugs or whatnot, what happens? Right, a kid that just doesn't care about life, what happens? A kid that's focused in school, what happens? A kid that's focused on sports, what happens? So I need you guys up here to take the line up. Line up like you're about to walk to the door right there. Are you girls ready? All right, so the person that smokes cigarettes and does drugs, I need you to stay still. The other three, I need you to take 10 steps forward. So we have all freshmen in here. By the time you become a sophomore in one short year, the way that drugs and cigarettes and things like this can affect you is people start getting ahead of you in life. Right, believe it or not, if the things that you're doing aren't helping you accomplish your goals, if they're not pushing you to the next level, they're going to keep you behind. So then what happens is, the person that doesn't really care about too much, he doesn't really know what he wants to do, she doesn't really care, stay still for me. My other two, my sports and my school, my scholar, take 10 more steps up. So I know a lot of us, it's fun, it's easy to say, I don't really care. I know sometimes in your head you have a thought of what you want to do, but what happens is around junior and senior year, around the time it's time to start deciding, do you want to do college? Do you want to learn a trade? Do you want to just drop out of school and start working? By the time you're around junior year, you need to know what you're going to be doing. This is why grades are important. This is why attendance is important. Because if you don't know, you just never cared about anything, in about a year or two, it's going to catch up to you, and guess what happens? People keep progressing in life. And then the last one, my athlete, stay still for me. My scholar, take 10 more steps. So what's the final result? God, I was the kid in school where all I cared about was sports. Right, I love playing basketball. Football was cool. I had some stats in football, but I love playing basketball. And because I didn't focus on school, when I got to college, guess what happened? I lost my scholarship, didn't know what to do with myself because I didn't have a plan outside of basketball, and ended up doing what I seen everybody else in my city doing, selling drugs and using them. And guess what that led me to? Sitting in jail. Guys, do me a favor, give our volunteers a round of applause. Guys, you can have a seat. By a show of hands, how many of us in here know exactly what we want to do when we graduate high school? Some of us. By a show of hands, how many of us kind of know but don't know, like for certain? And then how many of us we just don't even know? We just figure it out. There's nothing wrong with you. We got time still. We got time. So part of the workshop is to help you guys figure that out. Right? But the reason that I'm a firm believer that goals are so important, the reason I'm a firm believer is because you guys know I work with kids all the time. I have a nonprofit called the Advantage Program. And what happened is, there was two kids that were getting in trouble, and the mom asked me, like, she's a single mom, she said, hey, I don't know what to do. My son and my daughter, they keep getting in trouble, can you talk to them? So I went and talked to the kids. In my city, there's a bus station, and the bus station has a bunch of homeless people that live around it. The homeless population is actually growing. They moved to City Hall now as well. So I'm walking with the young man and the young lady, and instead of just talking to them, sometimes I like to show people, right? Sometimes I know you guys get tired of adults just talking. So there's some real life examples that we can show people sometimes. So I took the young man and the young lady, we went down to the bus station so I can show them the homeless people. And I said, I want you guys to figure out what happened. How do you guys think they ended up homeless? They said, I don't know, TP, how you think? For those that don't know, my nickname is TP. It does not stand for taller people. Y'all know people like saying that. And I said, I don't know, let's ask him. So we go ask, I say, I'll go first, and I walk up to a gentleman, I say, excuse me, sir. Me and my friend were wondering, how did you end up homeless? And the guy said that when he was in middle school, 13 years old, he used to smoke weed, and one of his friends put something in the weed that he was smoking, and it started like a lace blunt. He ended up smoking crack, and ever since then, he's just been using drugs. He went from crack to heroin, and he just can't get himself clean. He's been in and out of jail, and now he sleeps there because every time he gets money, he can't save it because he spends it on drugs. I said, thank you so much for your time. See, I know a lot of times we don't drink drugs, leave stuff, vaping and stuff. I know we just think it's nothing. But he was 13 and his whole life was changing. He was sitting there homeless because of one incident. So I said to the young lady, do you want to go next? You know, they say lady before gentleman, and she did what y'all do. Oh, no. I was like, all right, cool, got me up, my man. He's like, all right, I got it. So he walked up to another gentleman. He said, excuse me, sir, how did you end up here? How did you end up homeless? And the guy said that he never got an education. He never went to college. And he said he started selling drugs. He started using drugs. His family didn't want anything to do with him. His kids didn't want anything to do with him. And he felt like he was losing his mind. So he just kept doing drugs and he sleeps there. I'm like, man, these drugs just keep messing with people. So there was the lady left, and the young girl walked up to an older lady and said to the lady, she said, ma'am, how did you end up homeless? Usually, how did you end up homeless? And the lady said that she got a DUI, and she was drinking and driving, got a DUI, and ended up getting a jail sentence. And she was drinking, and her fetus was 2 months old. She ended up giving birth to her baby while she was in jail. And she lost her mind when she got out of jail. Her family didn't want anything to do with her. They took her kids, and she doesn't know what to do, so she just sleeps with her. Guys, what I learned is a lot of times people don't plan on being homeless. People don't plan on going to jail. People don't plan on these things, but these things happen when we don't have goals, when we don't have something we're aiming for, when we don't have someplace we're trying to get, when we don't have something that we're trying to accomplish. What starts happening is life starts happening to us. Right? Because I'll never forget when I got out of jail, I just knew for a fact I was going to change my life. I just knew for a fact, I'm like, man, I'm going to be a millionaire. I just knew it. And 2 years after I knew I was going to do all that stuff, my brother was shot and killed. See, I'm pretty sure if you talk to some of your teachers, they've lost people. They have friends and family members that go through stuff, as do you. Because life happens to us all. But when we don't have a goal, when we don't have something we're trying to do, when we don't have something we're trying to accomplish, when life comes and knocks us down, we have a tendency to stay down. Because from that short conversation with those 3 homeless people, I'm pretty sure we sparked some type of hope in them, and all it takes is one day. Every day we have an opportunity, and one day they can change their whole life around. And then we're sitting here blessed with this day, and some of us are going to waste it. Some of us are like, man, it's too cold outside. The sun comes up too late now. The sun goes down too early. We find every excuse to not chase our goals. We find every excuse to be lazy. We find every excuse. But we tell ourselves we don't want to be homeless. We tell ourselves we don't want to go to jail. We tell ourselves we don't want to do drugs. My question to you is, when life gets hard, what kind of person are you going to be? Because that's ultimately what character is. That's ultimately what integrity is. And that's what school is actually trying to teach you. What if I told you guys that school isn't about grades? What if I told you that successful people are consistent? And how can you get good grades? By doing something over and over, right? That's what consistency is. So if every day you come to school and turn your work in, can they get an F if they do that? Like if you turn your work in every day, can you fail? If you try? By show of hands, how many of you guys can say every single day you come to school you try? Are you sure? Listen, I'm not judging. Because I know adults, if I say every day you go to work, do you give 100%? Some adults will be like, I don't. Because I know what happens is on Friday we're already looking to the weekend. So Friday we take off, Saturday and Sunday we're relaxing, and then Monday it's like 4-day weekend. So we only really work like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Right? A lot of people take days off. But I think you guys are a generation of change agents. I think you guys have an opportunity to get to the other side of that. I think you guys are special and chosen. I just don't want to think that, though. I need you guys to think it. Because when you're special, what happens is you start acting, you start doing things differently. So I was reading this book, and this book told me something, and I started believing it. Sometimes I get silly when I read stuff, I believe it. But the book said, I am nature's greatest miracle. And it said, say that to yourself for 30 days in the morning, at lunch, and at night. And I started saying it to myself, and believe it or not, I started believing it. So do me this favor. I don't even want you to talk to anybody this time. Just say it out your own mouth. Say, I am nature's greatest miracle. Okay, do me a favor. Say it like you actually believe it. Just pity me. I am nature's greatest miracle. Okay, I'm going to prove it to you. If I can prove it to you, can you give me some more energy? All right, this is how I'm going to prove it to you. So when we talk about nature, the Earth's been around, it's the year 2024, so let's just say the Earth's been around for like 2,000 years. In the 2,000 years the Earth has been around, do you know nobody has had the same eyes that you have had the same hair that you have had the same style and clothes that you have had, has walked like you walk, has talked like you talk, has thought like you thought? Some of the stuff that you're going to be able to invent and do in your life, nobody else in the history of the Earth has been able to do it. You are special, you are unique, and what I learned is because I'm nature's greatest creation, because I'm nature's greatest miracle, I'm unique and rare. And guess what happens to stuff that's unique and rare? It becomes more valuable. So the truth of the matter is, each and every single one of you is valuable, and you're valuable because you're different. Nobody can do it like I can do it. My son is sitting back, and he got my name, my face, but he can't do what I do because I'm unique and I'm special. And the truth is, you guys are too. So I know everybody doesn't believe me, but for those that actually believe me now, just give me a little bit more energy and just say it a little bit louder. Just say, I am nature's greatest miracle. I am nature's greatest miracle. Okay, the 10 of you that said it louder, I have a gift for you. So check this out. I have 3 affirmations for us, guys. 3 affirmations for us. I told you that I'm not going to keep us up here long. But I have 3 affirmations, and I'm going to explain what the change in the narrative workshop is for anybody that wants to sign up. So the first one, I'm not even going to have you guys say anything anymore because I don't want you guys to just sound so sad. Like we're going to record this, I'm going to post it, and they're going to be like, man, Brow's red line is so sad. Like, they're not sad, they're just tired. But I know everybody doesn't. It happens. But the first one I want you guys to just think it. The first one I want you to think is I can do all things. I don't want you to say it, just think it. I can do all things. And when I say that, the reality is every single person in this world can be successful. But the thing that differentiates successful people from unsuccessful people is their mindset. When I was in school, believe it or not, I didn't think that I could get straight A's. I didn't think I could do certain stuff. And every time I put a limit on myself, guess what happened? I didn't get any F's. My mom didn't like F's. But every time I put a limit on myself, I didn't reach the goal. And then I said to myself one marking period, I said, you know what? I think I can get straight A's. You know what? I'm going to change something. I'm going to get a tutor. And I called this girl that lived down the street from me, and I said, can you tutor me in math? And we ended up married. And my wife's married. But the reality is, you can do all things, but there's going to be people that come to help you. There's going to be things that come in your way. But the reality, if you keep in your mind that I can do this, I can accomplish this. It's not going to be easy, but I can go to college. I can get straight A's. I can stay off the drugs. I can be successful. I can make money. I can. When you tell yourself those things, guess what? You start believing it. Because guess what? By a show of hands, who in here likes money? Y'all like money too. And what I realized is, I have been in you guys' shoes. To the point where when I was in high school, I was trying to get a job, and they said, you got to go get a work permit. And I got a work permit, and I went to Auntie Ann's, and they said, we can only have you for 10 hours a week. And I was getting paid $7, and I got my check, and my check was $43. And I said, I worked 2 weeks for $43, I'll quit. But I've been there. But I said to myself, I can do all things. I can make money. They told me I'm too young, but I can. So I started my lawn care business. I got a lawnmower, I got a weed whacker and a blower, and I used to walk up and down the streets. And I started making money at 14 years old. It was Tavon's Lawn Care. Very creative, right? Tavon's Lawn Care. When I started cutting grass and I started making money to the point that I bought my own truck when I was 15 and I couldn't drive and I had 3 employees. All because I told myself, I can do it. And here you guys are. If I told you to say I can do it, you guys would be like, I can do it. You don't even believe in yourself. How can somebody else believe in you if you don't believe in yourself? Do me by a show of hands. Do you believe in yourself? Matter of fact, don't put your hand. Just wink at me. Wink at me. I know you guys get awkward when people start looking at you. I see some winks. Okay. I'm glad you believe in yourself because nobody in here can believe in you more than you believe in yourself. Your parents can't. Your coaches can't. Your teachers can't. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody can do it for you. And there's a word for the hopeless people. You guys are our spark plug. You guys are the future of this world. But I know I've been there. It's like, man, bump the future. I'm trying to get it right now. And you have an opportunity to do everything you want to do right now. But it's not going to be easy. So just say to yourself, I can do all things. The second one that I need you guys to realize, and I've been having this conversation with a lot of people, but birds of a feather flock together. I'm an Eagle fan. My brother's a Ravens fan. Like Eagles and Ravens don't fly together. The people that you hang around will literally dictate your success. So if you have, just think to yourself right now, if you have a bunch of friends and they like to skip class and vape and stuff like that, and you don't do that, at some point if they're your friends, what's going to happen? Either they're going to do what you're doing or you're going to do what they're doing. But think if all your friends are going to class and all your friends are doing what they're supposed to be doing. You guys have a higher chance of being successful. And the reason I say that is because I'll never forget when I first got to jail, I walked in and guess what I seen? I seen all the kids I used to get in trouble with in school. All the kids I used to skip, all the kids that used to like to get high, all the kids that didn't like to turn in their work, and all of us was in there and it was like a big party. And I'm like, I don't want this for my life. You said you was in there how many times? 3? But I know when you guys are this young, you don't think that the decisions you make right now affect you. I'm here to tell you today they do. Birds of a feather flock together. Right, my VIPs, they flock together. You guys friends? All right. Good. That was what I was trying to get at. And then the last one, guys, you control your own destiny. I need you guys to say that one. Say, I control my own destiny.
I control my own destiny.
Like you really mean it. I control my own destiny.
I control my own destiny.
Guys, the reason I say that, I'll never forget when I lost control of my life. The first time I got arrested. And I had weed and I had a firearm. And I'll never forget because my wife bailed me out. And the second time, I'm like, man, I just can't fathom how I would get in this predicament again. And I'll never forget because when I was getting arrested, I called her and she came. And when I was getting into the back of the police car, I'll never forget because I looked and I see her sitting there staring at me crying. 8 days after my daughter's 2nd birthday. When I say you control your own destiny, I really mean it. Because in the blink of an eye, everything that I ever wanted in life was taken from me. And for 14 months, every single day I had to wake up and realize I wasn't there for the people that meant the most to me. So I bring my daughter and my wife. I like it when they come to my speeches so you guys can see, when I come to talk, it's not just lip service. I've been through stuff, and the last thing I would want for any of you guys is to have to go through something in order to be successful. When you can just go on the right path and be successful anyway. When I say you control your own destiny, it took me going to jail, it took my brother dying, it took me going through it. I had to realize I need to control my own life. And from that, I started 3 businesses. From that, my daughter, I have goals that I have. And my question for you is, what are your goals? If you say you control your own destiny, can you control making sure your grades are good so you can get into college? Can you control a trade school? Can you control what you need to control in order to control your own destiny? Because the truth of the matter is, your destiny is waiting on you. So I want to close with this. Do me a favor. The teachers around will make sure nobody messes with you. But just do me this favor and close your eyes. Yeah, I'm looking at you. If I say that we wake up as a blessing in disguise. Every day we wake up as an opportunity for us to get closer to our goals. So I'll never forget And this is how I want you guys to start using your superpower. Because they say a candle burns, and you can see a small candle, a flicker of a candle from over a mile away. Does anybody know how long a mile is? Not 10,000. 5,000. 5,280 feet. So think about 5,000 feet, and you can see a candle, pitch black. You can still see a candle flicker. And the part that I love about candles is, if a candle lights another candle, it doesn't lose its flame. So when I say all of us have a superpower, all of us can ignite a flame in somebody, all of us can provide that light for somebody. But what I learned is, we just take this thing called life for granted. So as I told you guys, I have a lawn care business. And one of my customers, she's a new customer this year, and she called me to cut her grass because her husband couldn't do it anymore. And I'll never forget, she told me this story, and it changed how I view life. Because yeah, I have friends that passed away, I know life is precious, but until it happens to you, it's so easy to take this thing for granted. And I'll never forget, because she told me that her toilet was leaking down in her basement. She has a big house. Her toilet was leaking in her basement. So she asked her husband to fix it. And her husband went down in the basement, seen the problem. He went out, got his toolbox, and he went down in the basement to fix the toilet. She said she started doing the dishes, and about 10, 15 minutes went by. She was like, it was just a small fix. He shouldn't still be down there. So she said she went down there to check on her husband, like, hey, is everything okay? And he was slouched over on the ground. He had a heart attack. And she said she tried to start resuscitating him. She said her son called 911. And that day her life changed forever because her husband died right there on the ground. Guys, I've come today to let you guys know. I know we have big goals and big dreams and big aspirations, but believe it or not, every single day we get is precious. I know you guys are 14, 15, 16 years old, right? Right? You guys like my validation. I wanted to say something. But as teenagers, we have a whole life in front of us. But my question for you is, what do you do on a daily basis? The things that you do every day actually show if you want this thing called life, if you want the success, if you want the stuff that you say that you want. Every day you get a chance to show us, because actions speak louder than words. And believe it or not, guys, I told you guys, my daughter's 8 years old, and she texted me the other day, and she said, man, I made my own breakfast. I put the toaster down for her, she put waffles, and she made her own breakfast. I said, good job. And she said, yeah, I'm taking on more adult responsibilities. I was like, for an 8-year-old, yes, you are. But what I've learned is, I know, guys, I've spoken to you guys, some of you guys have the burden that adults have. You help with your younger siblings, you help around the house. What I don't want for you guys is to become what I call a partial adult. Right, the adults that love to be an adult. You 18 and you 21 and over when it's time to go to the club, when it's time to drink, when it's time to have fun, but when it's time to be an adult and handle your business, to handle your responsibilities, you don't. But what happens is, age will trick you. Age is nothing but a number. Right now, you can start maturing. Right now, you can grow up. Because if not, you'll be 25, you'll be 30 years old, still acting like you're 14, 15, and 16. So do me a favor, this is the last thing I need you guys to say. Give me some energy. Just say, today. It's 3 words. It's just, today's my chance. All right, today's my chance. So I'll say today, you guys say today. I'll say my, you guys say my. I'll say chance, you guys. Got it? All right, here we go. Today is my chance. Today is my chance.
It's my chance.
Guys, today is your chance to unlock your greatness, to unleash your next level, to do everything that you say you want to do in this thing called life. All that I ask is you guys don't play with life, but instead you guys take life seriously. Guys, my name is Tavon Parker, and I want to thank you guys for your time. So we have a couple minutes left for, I'll let you guys